welcome back to my channel. I'm Christy and this is Living La Vida Nomad. Today I wanted to talk about cheap things to do. So once you get to your destination, there are so many things to do and most of them are really expensive, which can really cut into your budget. So finding cheap things to do is going to be essential. I've gotten pretty good at it over the years. One of the things that is really beneficial to us is when we're in our home country, which is Canada. If you're from the States, they have similar. Europe often has similar as well. If you go to like a science center or a museum, you can usually check online. And they have what's called reciprocal entry. So go to membership on the site of whatever place you're looking at, and it will tell you that with your annual membership, you can have reciprocal entry into whatever. And they'll have a long list of places where you can get reciprocal entry, which means you can use your card and you can get in free to other museums and science centers and things like that. So before we left for Mexico and other places, I bought a 1-year membership for our local science center. For the family, it was myself and my teenage son and my 2 young boys, I think it was $200, but that gave us unlimited entry to that science center as well as to science centers all over the world for that year. And so I looked on the reciprocal entry thing, and there was 3 science centers just in Mexico City that we could access, as well as other science centers around Mexico. And so I kind of planned our trip to Mexico around those free science centers, because my boys will spend an entire day in the science center and they will go multiple times because they really enjoy it. And it's not actually free because I have to pay $200 for the card to begin with, but it pays off because, you know, if you think about it, you have to pay. I figured it out, and we would have to go 3 times in order for it to pay for itself. And so we went 3 times before we even left Canada. So, I mean, it's worth it. The other thing to do is to Google free things to do in and insert where you're going. And you'll find a lot of different things, parks and things like that. Also, Google attractions for the area where you're going. Check their sites, because most of them have a free day or a discount entry day. Sometimes it's once a month, sometimes it's once a week. It really depends. The one little city that we were staying in Mexico didn't have a lot of tourists, and they had this big dinosaur museum. It was super cool, and every Tuesday was free. So once we paid the first time, and then they told us that it was free every Tuesday, we just went every Tuesday. Something free to do. And a lot of like art museums, places like that will have a discount day, a free day, or a pay what you can day. And so you can utilize those days. The other thing is to ask locals. So where we were staying in the Dominican Republic, there's a really popular tourist attraction, and it's called 27 Waterfalls, or Damahagua. And you can pay online for a tour, and it's $90 US dollars per person. Or talk to the locals, and they will tell you, which is what we did. Go into town, catch the bus. It's 50 pesos, which is like $1, and it will take you to the road that goes down, and you walk not very far, like 500 meters, and you're at the entrance of the waterfalls. And then I think it was 500 pesos, which is like $6, something like that, for you to do the waterfalls. So, you know, for $7, I've gotten one person into the waterfalls instead of 90. We don't get lunch with it, but there's plenty of places around that we can go for lunch at our choice instead of a bus's choice. So that worked out really well. And a lot of times the locals will say, oh, don't go there, it's really crowded and it's not very nice. Go here, it's better. And they'll take you to a much better place for cheap or cheaper, because the locals don't pay what tourists pay. So those are some ideas for finding cheap or free activities to do. Also, keep an eye out for, like I know Mexico City has, on Sundays, they have this one street that's closed off just for people walking or biking or whatever. And you can actually rent bikes down there, so that would be fun. And renting a bike isn't super expensive. It's not dangerous because there's nobody driving a car there. Would be fun. Another thing I did was when we were in Mexico again, there was this big giant water park. And so I went kind of on a scout out, and I went over to the water park and I wanted to check out the prices. I couldn't find them online. So I went over and I noticed that on Mondays it was half price. So we went on Monday because it was cheaper. Another thing that you can look at is a lot of places, especially amusement parks and like museums and things like that, will have like a yearly pass. And sometimes it works out cheaper, especially if you're going to be in the area for a while, to buy the yearly pass, because sometimes you go twice or 3 times and it's paid for. And for us, because my one son is autistic, we like to go to places several times. And I really like having the annual pass, because if we get there and it's really busy and he's not doing well because it's too people-y or whatever the case may be, we can leave. I don't feel bad because I've just paid however much to get us in the door. We need to stay 2 hours to get my money's worth. We just leave and we come back another day when it's not so busy. And so that's been beneficial to us, is just getting the yearly pass and being able to come and go as often as we need, or stay as little time as we need. Sometimes we'll go, we'll look at 2 or 3 things, we'll turn around and walk out and be done because he's done. And that's okay because we have this pass. So looking at the cost comparison between paying one fee to get in for one day or paying for an annual pass for 3 entries or whatever might be better, worth your money. I did end up getting a pass to, I think it was Six Flags, because we could go a couple of times and I knew that it would be overwhelming for my little guy. And so I bought the yearly pass because we could go do a few things and leave, and then come back and do some more things and leave. So it worked out really well for us. So those are my ideas for some cheap things to do while you're traveling. If you have other ideas of cheap things to do while you're traveling, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to hear them. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. Join me next week for our next episode. If you have any topics that you want me to discuss or cover, send me a DM on Instagram or a message on our Facebook page. Both are Living La Vida Nomad. And there's links at the end of the video as well. So send me a message. Let me know what you want to hear about, what you want to learn about, and I will for sure cover it.